It's that time again, Wednesday night, live and in color. The big show, the biggest of shows. It is that time. I'm Coach and I'm with. And I'm with. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. You got your mic on? Oh, maybe that's me. Okay, try again. Go. I still don't hear you. What's going on?
One of these lunches has a peanut.
Okay, what is the deal? We were working just fine a second ago. Hold on a minute. I still don't hear you. What's going on? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Huh. Well, that's crazy. Can you hear me? Casey, can you hear me? Turn your head up. You can't hear me. I can't hear you. That is weird because hold on a second. Let me do something real quick. We were working just fine a minute ago. Keep talking. Talking. I wonder what... Oh, I think I know what it is. Hold on a minute. Where is my settings? Let's try. All right. Well, that should work. Wonder what happened. Wonder why you're not... Because I've got you up on volume. That's crazy. Wonder what happened there. Okay. I don't know how delayed we're going to be if I try to do this. If I try to connect you audio on the phone. But we got to get you in here. Let me try something real quick. May have a delay. Just stay up there with your video for a second. Let me connect. Apologize to everybody else that's listening. Every week we seem to have something. That's why we need a new technical director. Just going to have to fire myself, I guess. That's crazy. Sound check, we were fine. Usually it's the other way around. We can't get sound check to work, and then all of a sudden everything starts working. All right.
Check.
Okay, there you are.
Hello?
Oh, you can't do both, can you? Ah!
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you can. Well, dadgummit.
We had it. I don't understand.
I don't either. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know.
Let me... Well, anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Coach and I'm with...
Casey.
And we are...
Faithletic The Podcast.
So we got that out of the way. I got to get your picture in here somehow, so give me a minute.
Do you want me to hang up on the other one?
Well, I guess, because you're yeah, I guess so, because it doesn't look like we're going to get that going.
I don't understand. That is so weird.
I guarantee you, I think probably one of the answers to this is every week I just need to probably just do a new link, a new room, because it seems like every time I try to use the same room, we run into this. I try to use the previous week's one, we run into some sort of technical issue.
Hey, but we're going to work through this.
I guess.
We're going to work through it.
It's a little frustrating on my end, and probably on your end too, because I can't seem to figure it all out. And doesn't help our legitimacy, our consistency, our credibility. I guess that's
credibility. That's right.
Got you some yay-hos here. Because I was gonna see about bringing in a second guest tonight. I'm glad I didn't now, because
right. Who would it have been? Who's your
it would have
special
been
guest?
The gunslinger, or Jeff Oakes. I was talking to Jeff too. I thought that we're gonna try to do the Doomsday episode, and he was
Oh
good.
yeah, because we're eulogizing
Yeah,
tonight, I
Cowboys, and
suppose.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of our
Uh-huh.
show tonight. Is we're having a Doomsday episode with the Cowboys and the Chiefs because, legitimately, you guys are dead mathematically. Cowboys are not, but I don't see any way that the Eagles lose and Cowboys win out. I think there's a little more less likelihood Cowboys win out than there's Chiefs to lose all three.
Yeah,
So,
the Eagles. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
it's
but the
just
Eagles could falter. I mean, they got. Who. See, that tells me there's. Well, I don't know. Maybe they weren't because they thought Commanders would be better than they were. Who knew they'd be as bad as they were this year, and Jaden Daniels would go down. But wouldn't you like to play the Commanders 2 of your last 3 games? Wouldn't you?
yeah, that would be nice, I suppose.
I mean,
right
set
now
up for
because
'em.
they're shutting Jaden Daniels down
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
season.
it's set up for him. So I don't know how you
Mhm.
get even better scenario than that, really, for the Eagles. And they're playing horrible. They're almost as playing as well. They didn't against the Raiders, but they were playing the Raiders. So they're not playing very well. And I predicted that they would start imploding, and they have. Now, maybe they resurrect themselves in the next couple of weeks, but getting to the Super Bowl does not. They could figure it out, but with Sirianni, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think that they're looking back at a back-to-back
No.
championship,
No.
which really, I mean, it says everything that I need to know about the Kansas City Chiefs. Honestly, I'm not making it about them. Try not to make it about them, but just what they did. It's just so hard to repeat, you know.
It is.
And
It is. That's why most teams
yeah,
don't. I mean,
right.
most teams. I mean, there's only been. I don't know. Let's see. Packers done it. Of course, they were playing very weak AFC teams back in their AFL teams, so they done it twice, or they did it. And then the Dolphins did it, and the Steelers did it, and the 49ers did it, the Cowboys did it, and then the Broncos did it,
Yes.
and then the Patriots did it, and the Chiefs, they do back-to-back.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
So there's
They,
less than, 8 teams have done back-to-back in the 60 years of the Super Bowl?
yeah, which is
Not a lot.
crazy. That's crazy.
It's not a lot. And,
No, there's not.
And we'll get into that segment here in a moment. Couple things going on, just to kind of bring everybody up to speed. College football playoffs start this week. 4 games on tap. We'll talk about that and our predictions on what we see going ahead into the future. We'll have our games of the week in both the college and the NFL. We're going to have a segment in talking about the Chiefs and the Cowboys and what's next for them. You know, what do they do in the next 3 weeks? What do they do in the off season? What's their outlook for next year? And then I thought we'd start the show with just talking about a couple of things. If you're joining us for the first time, one of the things we sneak in occasionally is pro wrestling. And because Casey and I are avid wrestling fans, mine is more comes from 70s, early 80s. Casey's is probably, what, you'd say from 10 years or 20 years ago to now? Would you go that far?
I would say it goes back to 1998. So
Okay,
that's
27
that's
years.
27 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so big thing happened over the weekend, Saturday night main event. The never give up guy, John Cena, who was the big coup de grace, Kashinda, whatever you want to call it, had his last match Saturday. Washington, D.C., KC? Is that where it was?
It was in Washington, D.C., yes.
Where the guy who never gave up did just that. And I was a kind of, I didn't watch it, but I did see the clips, kind of like you.
Yep.
I actually forgot about it, or I probably would have watched it. And I'm not a Cena fan fast. I'm not a Cena fan at all, and I don't really care for Gunther or whatever they call him, but he is definitely turning in. I mean, is he going to be a bigger heel than Dominic?
I mean, I don't know. Dominic's heat, it still feels gimmicky, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, because I also think that his heat is also like manufactured in the sense that people do it because I think they actually like him. Um, Gunther has some heat just
Hate.
because he does play that villain so well.
Hate.
And yeah, yeah, I I think he's gonna take that role really well for sure.
Well,
Like
he
I
has
think
been
you're onto
already.
something. But people also respect Gunther because he's put on some of the best matches in the past 3 years, I would say. So he's gonna become the invincible Gunther and brag about this and all of that. Like, yeah, I think he's gonna be a top heel for sure.
Did you watch last night, Monday night, or Monday
I
night?
didn't I
So
did not.
did you hear about
Did
it?
I tell you? Did I tell you I went a couple weeks ago though?
Yeah. Well, you told me you're going to.
Yeah, I did. I ended up
Before.
going.
Tell me
So,
about that here in a minute. But did you see what he did Monday night?
no, I did not.
So he basically opened the show, and he came out with the booze and whatever, and I bet he wasn't out there 5 minutes, and he basically all he said is you're talking to the guy that made John Cena tap out like a bitch,
Yeah, of course.
and then threw the microphone down and left. And he went back into the ring and he said a couple of other things, and then he finally left. And then who's the general manager now? Used to be the NWA champion, Adam Pierce. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Adam Pierce.
Told him to get out of the building. He said, "You're done for the night." And
Of course.
and he left. But it was it definitely he's drawing heat. And we were talking about this off air. I'm kind of surprised that Cena tapped out. They had him tapped out or whatever. So
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I don't know. There's a couple things that made me wonder, or you just think through. It's like, yeah, it's definitely an end of an era for sure. There's that weight to it. Like, he's the constant for so long to never give up. Like, he also is telling you, I cannot do this anymore, and I'm not going to be the wrestler that teases the comeback and all of that. Like, I legitimately can't do this anymore. So he's having these shoot interviews where he's just saying my body can't do it. And so maybe that's the through line there, is that like Cena himself, didn't quit, but his body is like, it's not. Maybe that's the story that they're trying to tell through that. So I understand why it happened. Like, it's the same thing with Flair. Like, I see his last match.
well,
Really,
I saw
that
coming.
Shawn Michaels match.
Yeah, well,
Like,
yeah, I saw that coming though.
yeah, sure.
I didn't expect Flair to win this last match, but I don't know. I mean, they said on Bleacher Report yesterday that the WWE booking committee, call it whatever you want to call them, were a little surprised by the reaction from the fans, that they didn't expect this kind of negative feedback. They expected to draw heat for Gunther, but they didn't expect the reaction they got. They didn't see that coming.
Well, I think part of it is so I think there's a lot of things at work right now happening. I think it's the ultimate like frustration of what's happening in the now. That um, Triple H has lost his touch that we thought
Yeah.
that he had
Yeah.
with his booking in NXT, and early on in his tenure in that job as head of creative and all of that. And now everything feels stale. Everything feels
How long has he been a
I
booker?
can't tell you how frustrated I was with every commercial being about Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I bet.
So, like, this politics aside or whatever, like, that's pretty frustrating that you're just going to go all in on a pretty polarizing entity in Saudi Arabia. Like, whether you think it's good or bad, like, money wise, but I don't think anybody really feels like, yeah, Saudi Arabia, let's go, right? I
No.
just I don't understand that. And so all of these things, the commercialization, Triple H not really being great as of late as a booker.
How long has he been booking,
It,
KC?
I think since just after the pandemic,
So 25
so
years.
2021.
It's too long. I mean, there's a reason why the territories always changed out bookers. There's a reason. I mean, learn from that, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I mean, that's.
fresh ideas, fresh
I mean,
mind, fresh
even Dusty
eyeballs,
Rhodes
all of
didn't.
that.
I mean, Dusty was a pretty creative booker. I mean, of course, as long as he was over, he was really did it. But Dory Funk Jr. left areas. Terry Funk. Harley Race left areas as a booker. I mean, he didn't stay. They moved around. I mean, they didn't stay. They changed bookers for more. And he's got to put somebody else in there. And I never cared for. I mean, I appreciate Triple H's the long game. I appreciate. I really do, because I saw it in the '70s when. Junior would be wrapped up. Dory Funk Jr., the NWA champion, be wrapped up in a feud for a year.
Right.
It worked. Well, I take that back. I don't know who booked it. Well, it started out being Eddie Graham, but Briscoe and Funk went on for a long time because Junior and when Junior was the champion for 4.5 years, and then Briscoe went for 2.5 years. So was there 7 years that they 69 to 75, 6.5 years that they were booked all over the world, and they had a different match, but it was the same angle. It was face against face. It was technician against technician, and neither one of anybody would think Dory Funk Jr. and Jack Briscoe had the most polarizing interview of the planet. They sold it in the ring, but I guess my point is, you can't keep that longevity that long and expect to have enormous successes, because everybody will see it coming.
Yeah, I agree. Excuse me.
Maybe it's because nobody kayfabe is dead, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, but then like part of it, that's definitely part of it. But it's also like, okay, so going to the show that I went to, back to it again, because I think it tells the story. Is like one of the things that happens during that night in Oklahoma City. Dom Mysterio comes out, gets all the heat that he does, and then they tease John Cena's music, and they bring out a little person for him to beat up, like as John Cena, and all that gives us a little promo, and I'm like, what are we doing? This is like,
and that's been
that
done.
is
It's been
early.
Done.
It's been done before. Like Shawn Michaels did it. Like Paul Heyman's done it. It's like, what did you think that this has? The internet's not dead. Like, these things live on the internet now. First of all, and second of all, it's been done before. And like, I don't know what they were thinking about that, but it tells you everything about. Yep, we're just gonna go back to the well of cheap heat or cheap pops, and um, it really showed a low for me in that moment of where they're at, and like they're in trouble a little bit, I think, because they're not letting they when really AEW and the WWE were in that quote unquote rivalry, ratings rivalry, all of that when it first coming up. Like there's a rival that goes with it. It felt like both of those had fresh ideas going on at the same time,
They did.
and now like WWE knows that they're the big. Nobody's gonna really touch
They don't
them
have to try as hard.
when it come. Yeah, they're not trying as hard.
Yeah.
So we thought we were gonna get this good. It's just a different brand of wrestling in the AEW, and it's almost like I felt like, should I go back and watch that? Like, because
I don't know if it's any better or not. Their matches are better. I can tell you
that's what I'm saying. Is if I want to watch good wrestling, I
Yeah.
think maybe it's time to go back to
I don't know about
backtrack
the
to
angles.
AEW. I don't know.
I haven't paid enough attention to it to tell you what the angles are like, but I've seen some matches, and the matches are really good. They're really good.
Yeah, that's interesting. And they still have some guys that can go.
They had
I mean,
Moxley
you still
opening
got
up
Will Ospreay that
against
can go. And
Robert Strong today. I watched that first match, and it was great. It's really
they
good.
have, and WWE has a real problem because I think they have the best guy in wrestling right now. In NXT,
Who is it?
Obafemi. I don't know if you've seen him.
Who?
Obafemi.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's the NXT champion right now, and he is huge and can move.
How big is he?
Just awesome. Let's see. He's Nigerian. He is, yeah, he's 6'6", 310
Oh
pounds.
my gosh.
Monster, dude.
Sounds like it.
Absolute monster.
That's big.
But he can move, and
Hmm.
he is. He was one of those that I watched and I went, "Oh wow, this dude's got it. He has it." And I mean, he could be as big as like anybody, Roman Reigns, you name it. Like,
Hmm.
it's interesting to think about what they'll do with him. So, um, yeah, they have like they've always had this problem though in the last 15, 20 years, or I would say the last decade at minimum. WWE has this embarrassment of riches, and they don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
They just don't. It's like they just at a standstill. It behooves you to have a smaller roster. I mean, go back to the 90s
They're just too busy.
where, yeah, like in the 90s, you had a clear championship card, you had a mid tier and a lower tier, and I just think without that system, it does not having too much to build. You're trying to build characters here. You cannot build characters while you're doing this. It doesn't even matter if you're trying to. I mean, take it back to the territory days. It's like they're trying to make stories and build narratives out of these people, and you can't do that in 12 minutes. And how much screen time they actually have.
Yeah, there's not as many people as they have. They can't make it interesting enough in that short amount of time.
No, I truly believe that.
Yeah. That's why I'm a big believer in the long game, but I don't. There's parts of that long games need to. They need. Look, you're trying to. People keep waiting for that big over the top moment, and they know right now they feel like it's going to take forever. It's too predictable.
Right.
It's too predictable.
Right. And then you have and I think what's frustrating is Triple H has had two of the best stories that I can think of ever, or three really. Like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Now they had a history going into before they were at NXT.
Yeah.
Like what he did with them was phenomenal. But a lot of that comes from the two, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, having that long history in the Indies and all that. So that I would pin more on the success of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in their work. But Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, that rivalry is the best, and I would even say it's better than the Bloodline, which is my third one from Triple H. But that Ciampa Johnny Gargano rivalry in NXT was some of the best long-term, medium-term, short-term storytelling that I've seen in pro wrestling.
And who did that?
And
who booked that?
Triple H. Triple H. And so I think that's why people are frustrated is like there's this Hunter, we've seen what you can do before and what you've done, and now it feels like you're being a corporate shill. Like as far as the way that you're booking this stuff.
How long has Netflix been involved now?
Since January 1st.
Yeah, so it's been it has been a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another in the wrestling news, we didn't have a show last Wednesday, but last Wednesday was the 50-year anniversary of my favorite wrestler of all time winning the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Terry Funk was the 50-year anniversary in the upset over Jack Briscoe. And one of the, especially in the world title scenario, and keep in mind that back in the 60s and 70s and most of the 80s, world title changes did not happen very often. I mean, they just didn't. 69, 73, there were two, and there were actually two changes in 73. 75, 77, 79, 81, 84. I mean, you could every 2 years there was a title change. Now you have one every show, basically, or every pay-per-view, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
But, interesting angle. Terry wins the title, but him and Jack Briscoe, who's one of the great technical masters of all time, battles for 5 years to try to take the title away from Dory Funk Jr. Never gets a chance to do it. Jr. loses to Hardy Race. Briscoe wins from Race. Briscoe has the belt for 2.5 years. They're scheduled to wrestle again and have been going through this feud in Florida for the last 6 months. Scheduled to wrestle again in Miami Beach, Florida on December 10th. The angle is that Jr. missed his flight, could not make it to the arena, which in reality he was in Japan wrestling and had no means of coming to wrestle Jack Briscoe. But Terry subs in for his brother. The angle, of course, is Jack Briscoe trained and scouted Dory Funk Jr., not Terry Funk. And if you know anything about wrestling, they're two entirely different people. And they call it a fluke championship win. Briscoe goes in for the figure 4 leg lock. Funk plays limp, and at the last minute catches him in a cradle and wins the belt. And,
of course, sure.
And of course, is an accident. It should have never happened. And that's what Terry wanted. He wanted people to think that people could beat him because he shouldn't have beat Briscoe. But anyway, this was the 50-year anniversary. They had earlier today on Tony Richards' Time Tunnel podcast. They had the only photographer that was in the building that night on the show talking about how so happy Terry was, and he said he'd never seen a wrestler so happy about winning. And he became the world heavyweight champion. And Tony made a very good point, and then we need to move on. But Tony said, and of course I'd known this for years, Terry was had just divorced his wife. And by the way, him and Vicky, his wife, got together not long after that, but a year later after Terry dropped the belt back. But he was in financial issues because of the divorce. And when he won the title, he knew that his fortunes were getting ready to change. And he wrote in his book, he made almost $400,000 these 14 months as world champion. That's a huge amount of money. That's probably, I don't know, $2 million today.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
And it changed his
That's
financial.
wild.
Yeah. And then, of course, not long after he dropped his belt to Harley Race, he gets a movie gig, Paradise Alley, and that was one of the reasons Terry wanted to do Hollywood, is he could get a pension from that. And so he did. I think he did half a dozen movies and a TV show.
He's great in oh gosh, I lost it. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
I love his character in Roadhouse.
He was in Roadhouse. He was over the top. He was actually in an uncredited role in Friday Night Lights. Him and Billy Bob Thornton are cousins, by the way. And he did a TV show. I can't think of the name of it right now. It was a Western. It didn't last very long. And he was like a rock star in Japan. I mean, an absolute rock star. Him and his brother are the most famous Americans in the history of Japanese wrestling, and it's not even close. They were revered in Japan, and Junior was the booker, the American booker in Japan for many, many years, up until just a few years ago. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. And then we lost Terry a year and a half ago. So just.
We love talking about Terry, though.
I do.
I never get tired of it. I never really get tired of.
And there were some really good stories about him, and I'll tell one, and then we got to move on. But the photographer was he was inside of the cage. He didn't realize until it was too late that he was inside the cage in a Texas death match in a cage with Terry Funk and Harley Race. And
oh wow!
Inside the cage, and he said there was like 3 feet between the cage and the apron, so he had no room. And Race threw Terry out of the ring on one side of the side of the ring, and then Harley came out the other side, and the photographer is right in the middle between both of them, and Harley's coming to Terry, and he's right in the middle of it, and he heard Terry go, "Get out of the ring, kid." And he said he got out of the ring and went all the way to the other side. He said he was so scared. He was 16 years old, 130 pounds. But he said he got smart, and the word "smartened up" is a term that used in pro wrestling when you know it's a work, basically. And
right.
He said he figured it out when he heard the wrestlers calling the moves, because he was right there on the apron. He goes, they were talking to each other. He said, huh. He said, I had no idea. And so, anyway, I got smartened up. Anyway, we'll move on. Pretty good. I was on that podcast today. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, so check that out, folks, if you can.
Yeah,
I look forward.
Pro Wrestling
Timetable
by Tony. Tony Richards.
That.
Pro Wrestling Timetable by Tony Richards, and it's on YouTube, by the way, so you can just YouTube it up.
YouTube it up.
YouTube it up. All right, quick moment of silence. Both of our teams are pretty much done and done. Yours is mathematically done. Mine, for all intents and purposes, is done. The Kansas City Chiefs are out mathematically, and probably wouldn't have mattered anyway after Mahomes went down. And my Cowboys can't play any defense. So it's like they showed a couple of clips I saw this week that, honestly did not see this in the game that I attended in person, because I really thought they played a really good game on both sides of the ball against the Chiefs. But their defensive line is just getting manhandled against the Lions and the Vikings both. And
yeah.
I was listening to the post-game show Monday with Mickey Spagnola, who's big Cowboys reporter, and he just come right out and said, "We're just not very good. We're just not a very good football team." And I didn't believe that until last Sunday night. I thought, no, they're a good team. No, they're not. They're not.
Yeah, I kind of agreed with you too, with you as well. Like I thought they were good,
Yeah.
and it just,
They're not very good.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I do have a eulogy if you would like me to read it.
yes, please,
I can do that.
please.
All right. So, dear friends and family,
I need to get some music
people,
going here. Go ahead.
yeah, people of the Chiefs Kingdom. For the first time in 10 years, the NFL playoffs have arrived without the Kansas City Chiefs. The streak that began in 2015, 10 straight postseason appearances, multiple Super Bowl trips, and an era defined by Patrick Mahomes ended abruptly after Mahomes suffered a season-ending ACL injury and were eliminated from the playoffs. Kansas City was eliminated, and January football is going to move on without us. Since becoming a starter in 2018, Mahomes has never missed a playoff. The Chiefs hosted 5 straight championships games.
Hold on a second. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. During that run, they averaged double-digit wins per season and turned late-game deficits into routine inconvenience. They were just successful. They weren't just successful. We were expected. Without Mahomes, the Chiefs didn't implode this weekend, but they just became ordinary. Close losses throughout this season replaced miracle comebacks. Punts replaced inevitability. The assumption that Kansas City would figure it out quietly expired. This isn't the end of the Chiefs or the Mahomes era. ACL injuries are survivable. And dynasties don't vanish, they pause. But for one season, the NFL is experiencing something it hasn't in a decade, a postseason without the Kansas City Chiefs. And a league that briefly remembered what competitive balance actually feels like. So enjoy the quiet. History suggests that it will not last, because we will be back. Do we need to put it out where you can play taps?
I got.
No,
You're not hearing the music.
I didn't hear it.
You don't hear it?
I think I knew something was working, but yeah, it's dead.
Yeah. All right, we can
Yep.
hear that. Just for
R.I.P.
you.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Everybody else can.
Yeah, everybody's very excited. Everybody's very excited about our demise.
Hell,
So-
I don't know if I'd say I was excited. I don't ever like to see a player get hurt, except for Joe Theismann or Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. But I don't
You
like-
know, I think that part of it is something that I have kind of appreciated. Is that there was like legitimate well wishes and like concern
yeah,
for Patrick,
Sure.
obviously, and
it's a
you know, it
devastating
wasn't
injury.
like serves him right type situation and all of that. I think there was some with the death of this. I think there's a lot of people that have sat back and just been like, "Oh wow, what they've done is pretty insane." So I appreciate that part of it.
Mhm.
You know,
Well,
but it's harder than, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's dead or anything like that, but I listen back to this run with so much fondness, and how much like I think of, you know, and Aiden's not going away, but just me and my dad being locked in every Sunday and sending texts back and forth, and so it's all more than football, you know.
it is. It's
So-
more. It's just a game, but it's more than a game. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and it's you know the memories you share, the community you have. I mean, you know those things won't be forgotten, and they're part of memories. You got 3 Super Bowls in a short amount of time. It took me, 20 years to get 5, and really I experienced 3 in about the same amount of time that you experienced 3. It's just been longer. So
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
all right, so here's take your fan hat off, your Chiefs hat off for a second.
Okay, that stays permanently on, but I'll try my best.
Well, get your scissors out and cut it off or whatever. Who has a better season next year, the Chiefs or the Cowboys?
It depends on what happens in the off season. Will Patrick be able to rehab his knee in time? Because he did have an LCL tear as well with it.
Yep.
So I think that depends. I think hopefully what happens is that they realize that number 15 can't do it all. Because I think that's what they relied on the past 2 years when it comes to the offense. And winning Super Bowls out of it is Patrick doing his thing. So they have to do something in the offseason. One of the things that I'm worried about is the retirement of Travis Kelce. And say what you will about him, and like just as far as like having a couple key drops this year and all that, but like overall, Travis was kind of Travis this year in a lot of ways. And so filling that gap is going to be really tough.
All right.
I don't know. I think if I'm doing it based on question marks, I think that the Chiefs have a lot more question marks right now than the Cowboys. So it might surprise you when I say I think the Cowboys actually might be better suited next year immediately.
Well, I would agree with you. There's a lot of holes to be filled on both ends of that spectrum. Depends on what happens in the offseason. First and foremost, whatever the Cowboys got to do to get the defense better. And if that means firing your defensive coordinator, fine. I mean, you traded away your unquestionably your best player, which I think had to be done because you couldn't build anything with him. If you signed him, you weren't going to be able to build anything, and he clearly, even in Green Bay, couldn't do it on his own. So I think that was a good trade by Jerry, and I've said all year I thought it was a good trade. I thought it was a good move.
It's turned out to work out for them.
Yeah, it did. Now,
and getting Quinnen Williams too was big. That was a pretty good move.
They're not any better or any worse, probably with Micah not on the team, but you don't have the cap restrictions, or you don't have the financial restrictions that you would have had inside you. So, look, I hadn't watched enough of the schemes of the defense to say whether the D coordinator. It appears that they need to move on from what's his name?
I can't even remember his name.
Coach of the Bears last year.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't either. Matt something. But anyway, they need to do something defensively, and I don't know if I have a lot of confidence that they're going to find anything better than what they have. That's what worries me. I think Jerry made a really good move in hiring and putting Schottenheimer in charge. I don't know that for a fact because they're not any better off than they were last year. I mean, they're going to end up with the same record probably. So I don't know. They certainly were a better team. I thought they had a better culture this year, but I'm not surprised that the season is going the way it went because I've said this every year. This is what they do. So nothing's changed, and you know it. You can quote me on it, and you can go back and look at all our other shows. I said when the season started, they'll be better, but the results will be the same. And it is. And I've been right every year. Have I not?
No, you listen. You can your doctor diagnosis when it comes
When
to
it comes to Cowboys.
the Dallas Cowboys. It
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from that. College football playoffs start. You know what? I'm so happy. I have to get this off my chest. Okay? I have to get it off. I'm so happy that OU gets in the playoffs this year and have a home game. Aren't you?
You're so happy that OU gets
They're in the
playoff
playoffs and get a
game?
home game. Aren't you happy?
A little. I mean, maybe
Why?
because it's not Alabama.
Well, but they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
You know why? You know why?
I
man?
like
Huh?
why.
Because every OU fan is such a good mood right now.
Oh, that's actually true.
I know it's true.
That is actually true.
I know. They're so excited and so happy and they're such wonderful people right now.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh, you should. You're an outsider looking in just like I am. You know,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like,
it's all butterflies and chirping birds right now.
yeah, even my kids at school are happy about it. I'm like, I don't. And you know what? To their point, I'm like, I kind of hope they win, because they still don't like Alabama that much. Like, and I like Venables.
I like Venables.
Like, I think a team's likability is so tied to their coach in college football, and I really do like Venables.
I like Venables.
So it feels odd, and I'm kind of, and their defense is actually fun to watch.
Yeah, they're pretty
Is
good.
my grandpa might disown me as a Nebraska fan for saying anything nice about OU, but
Well, let's
I
not
don't
go
know,
too
man.
far.
That's a good point. Maybe they'll be happier for another week.
I don't know if we
Tis
can
the
stand
season, I
it. They've
suppose.
actually been kind of tolerable this week. Last 2 weeks.
I also think that comes with they know that they have some weaknesses. And they're kind of lucky to be there. Like, I think that's part of it too. Is it the past feels like, there's an entitlement that, hey, we should win.
Yeah.
Having Baker, having Kyler,
Yeah.
I understand. I guess I get some of that. Like, hey, we're gonna win. I'm like, I don't know about that. This time, I think that maybe there's some self-awareness of we've played some really ugly football this year and came out on top in a lot of those games that could go the other way.
Yeah. What do you think of Indiana beating Ohio State?
It doesn't matter until they do it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I will say that was a pretty surreal moment for me personally. I went to school in Indiana.
Oh no.
And I went to
Here we go again.
No. I went to several IU games, and those folks did not even show up to halftime.
Really?
The student section would not come in the game unless it was close. And my friends told me that I was going to. It's like the student section won't show up unless it's halftime and it's close. I went to one game where it was close. It was an Iowa game, and that was the case. Fans start piling in because they were tailgating outside the stadium. That's what IU was back in my day.
That's funny.
20 years ago in college was they were the party school. And so their stadium isn't much. And so to me, those moments are IU football is such a joke, an actual joke.
It's not anymore.
It is not anymore. And I think that was the surrealness that kind of happened there. But I love that interview that I saw with Signetti. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they weren't ready to win.
Yeah.
Like, this place looked like a place that
Yeah.
did not care about football,
What do
did
you
not
think,
care an
Signetti?
iota about it. And that's true. They care about basketball. They
Yeah.
never care about football.
What do you think of Signetti?
I love Signetti.
I do too.
Like, I know he comes off as arrogant,
He does.
but when you win a national championship, your arrogance is kind of
Expected.
it pays off.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't go back. You can't argue his claim that he has only won wherever he's went. Like, it's crazy, and the fact that IU doubled down and bumped his salary is probably going to give him more NIL or NIL money next year.
Absolutely, he's going to get it.
Promise. It's crazy. Like, and also on top of that, that you make the right move to get Mendoza.
Oh my gosh, I love him too.
That's part of it. Is you look at Florida State? Is their transfer portal was wide open, but not making any of the right moves.
Yeah.
Signetti's doing something clearly here that you find a guy that can win a Heisman at Indiana. Are you kidding me?
No kidding. And I watched the Ohio State-Indiana game, and Indiana made the playoffs last year, big deal. They make it again this year. I don't know why I felt inclined to watch it, the Big Ten championship game this year, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch it, and I'm telling you, they are not afraid of anybody.
No, and I felt that all year. Like watching, I probably watched 3 or 4 Indiana games. I'm like, no, they absolutely are for real. And like I kept saying to some friends, like, no, I kind of believe they're that good, guys. Like,
well, they are.
Yeah. So, I expect that they were there last year, so their roster has a little bit of playoff experience, and Signetti, probably learned a little bit. And so I don't know, man. I think Final Four for them is definitely a reality, but
it will be tough.
How wild would that be if they won the national championship? Like, I still don't see it. I still think Ohio State, it's hard to beat a team twice, especially within that short amount of time.
Will they meet again before the championship? They're not.
I don't think. I think no, because they're still 1 and 2.
So
they're on opposite sides. Yeah.
Well, it'd be a good one. Either way, I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
No, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that, especially if it's if it plays out that way.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between what we've had before.
What did you think of Diego Pavia's antics after the game?
He's.
How stupid can you be?
I think
I was very disappointed. By the way,
he was trying to play a Johnny Manziel type, and it is not gelling on social media.
Well, it should.
I think Johnny Manziel lived just outside the height of the social media era. And I think if people saw him do
what he
more
he wouldn't
of
so
what
popular.
he did outside, I don't think he would have had the reputation of he's kind of a cool guy.
Yeah. He's not.
Pavia is not. And I don't think he's getting any respect amongst college football folks.
Well, he didn't do himself any favors.
No,
and I liked him until that move. So I don't know. I was surprised. I was very disappointed. I mean, I don't know if he was just trying to get attention or how does somebody know that can't be a good move? Did you think he was going to gain anything by it? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, let's get into our picks. We're about 5 minutes before the hour. I know we're probably gonna run over, but that's okay. So we've got 4, and then just if you're listening to us for the first time, we generally do 5 college games, 5 pro games, but this week, we are going 4 college and 6 pro, and we have not been consistent every week. But here are the standings moving into, I don't even know what week we're in. KC, you are 40-31. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, you were 6-5. And we were tied going into this week, or 2 weeks ago we were tied. And I went 8-3 2 weeks ago, and I am 42-29. So I've got a 2-game lead on you right now.
Okay, all right.
So
We're in it then.
All right, so here we go. Game 1, James Madison versus Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any chance, James? Do they have a chance?
I don't think so.
Tulane at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, which is, by the way, one of the oldest rivalries in college football.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, go back all the way to the early 1900s. The rivalry between Tulane and Notre Dame.
Okay, we know that Ole Miss is without their coach, Lane Kiffin. Is Tulane still have John Summerall on the sidelines?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
They do.
Okay, well, they got a shot. They have a chance. And Miami at A&M.
Okay, so Miami they both beat Notre Dame. That's their transcript wins. The ACC has been trash. I'll go with A&M.
Yeah, me too. And then the game we just kind of briefly touched upon earlier, the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Oklahoma Sooners. Keith Jackson impression there.
I'm going to go Sooners.
I'm going to go Alabama.
Okay.
Opposite. We got to do something different. Okay, in the NFL, not for long if you're, Jerry Glanville. Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm gonna go Rams here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you. I don't like the Seahawks. I like the Rams. In fact, I think Rams right now are the odds-on favorite in the NFC, but I could be wrong. We never did really discuss that. And one of the things I wanted to do this week was kind of see where our playoff teams are compared where we thought they were when the season started, but we may be a few weeks out from that. We might try to do a show next week. We can talk about that here in a second. Philly at Washington.
Phil. Oh, you go.
I'm going to go Washington. You're going Philly.
I'm going to go Philly.
Okay. I think that we'll get to that here in a second. Green Bay, Chicago, your Chicago Bears against the frozen tundra.
I was going to say Bears until I forgot they played Green Bay. So, Green Bay.
You're going Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Green Bay. Although, they could have let down without Michael Parsons on the sideline, so you never know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tampa Bay at the Carolina Panthers. Is there a divisional title up for grabs in this thing? Perhaps?
I think so. Yeah, perhaps.
I'm going to go with Carolina.
You've gone to Carolina in your mind. Can't you just feel the sunshine? Yeah, anyway. That's where I am tonight. Carolina in my mind.
Are you going Carolina?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Pittsburgh Steelers at Detroit. Playoff implications here.
Ugly. Both ugly right now. I'll say the Lions.
Yeah, I agree with you. Although it wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're not dead yet. but they will be probably the Chargers at Dallas.
Give me the Cowboys.
Of course you would. I'm going
Well, I just don't like the Chargers.
I like the Chargers. I'm going to go with Chargers. I mean, I picked them. I picked them to lose against the Lions. I thought they would win last week, actually, but I was wrong. That's about the only time this year I picked them. Well, we picked, and they lose.
Right?
Last week. Okay, so this is the time of the show. We generally do a devotional. It is Kyle and I's belief that the Lord is with us, and we're believers in the gospel. And so every show, we make an attempt to bring you some hope and encouragement. And so we like to do what we call Daily at the Cross, so just devotion that just kind of maybe gives you some insight if you're struggling. And we all need that every once in a while. We're not all perfect. We're all sinners in the eyes of the Lord, but we have hope and we have forgiveness. And Mr. KC is going to do Daily at the Cross, so take it away.
Sure. So, you know what? I decided to ask my friend Chat to help me with a John Cena theme devotion here, if we're cool with that. So, I think this actually, really relates well to 2 Timothy 4:7, which I know that it's probably something that we've gone through before. But 2 Timothy says, I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith.
Yes.
It says John Cena's final match wasn't about winning. That alone feels strange in a culture and a faith that often confuses faithfulness with victory. For most of his career, Cena represented certainty. The comeback, the rally, the refusal to stay down, never give up wasn't just a catchphrase. It became a way of surviving disappointment, failure, and long odds. But the final chapter of his story asks a harder question. What if faithfulness isn't always about getting back up? Cena didn't go out on top. He didn't conquer. He didn't bend the world to his will one last time. He endured. He stayed present. He allowed the story to end without forcing it to fit the slogan. And in doing so, he modeled a deeper kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need control to be meaningful. Scripture is filled with people who finished their race not with triumph, but with trust. Moses never entered the promised land. Paul didn't escape prison. Jesus didn't come down for the cross. Faith was never about proving invincibility. It was about staying honest with God when the outcome wasn't yours to command. There comes a moment in every life when never give up has to mature into something truer. Don't abandon who you are, even when the story changes. Cena's farewell reminds us that dignity isn't found in domination. It's found in knowing when the work is done and releasing it without bitterness, ego, or fear. That kind of surrender is not weakness, it's trust. So our invitation today isn't to fight harder, it's to ask, where am I still trying to win something God is asking me to release? Where have I mistaken control for faith? Prayer doesn't always end with a comeback. Sometimes it ends with open hands. And sometimes that's the bravest finish of all.
Good stuff.
That's actually pretty good. I like that.
And the scripture, 2 Timothy 4:7, is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think it's one that's near to a lot of people's hearts for sure.
Yep, fought the good fight. I mean, that kept the faith. That sums it up in paraphrasing. But such an awesome devotional. Thank you, Casey. What's your schedule look like for next Wednesday?
Oh, is that New Year's Eve? Is that Christmas Eve?
Oh, never mind.
I think that's Christmas Eve.
Never mind.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Never mind.
Yep.
I won't
have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I won't be available. So, nope. Maybe the following week.
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
That's Christmas. That's New Year's Eve. We may be
Yeah,
done until first
maybe
year.
we need to shift to that Tuesday or something.
Yeah, we
so
could do a different day. We might look at Tuesday.
Yep.
Not next Tuesday, but we could do next Tuesday, I guess. We can talk about it.
Possibly.
Let's discuss
Let's we'll talk more about it, but either one of the next 2 Tuesdays.
Okay. And are you in tomorrow?
I should be, yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you.
We can talk in the morning or whatever, and you
Yep.
might be able to arrange transportation.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll have to see how my day goes.
Fair enough.
We'll have to see how my day
Yeah,
goes.
right. That's about where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's been a great show. Sorry for all the technical issues I'm dealing with. It's not totally shocking when it comes to the podcast, but heck, we still navigate through it, figure out a way, and do what we do. So I am Coach, and I'm with
Casey.
And we are Faithletic The Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.